Hi everyone, I'm so excited for you to be here on my channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please click the subscribe button to just learn more about EMS, electromuscle stimulation training. And I'm so excited to guide you through the class. So you have different options regarding the program setting. This one is like a 90 hertz, 350 microseconds workout where we focus mainly on the lower part of the body. I am training right now with the I-shape. You can train with any EMS equipment, that completely doesn't matter. And we're gonna do a drainage program in the end. But let's get right into it, and let's start with some cat-cows. So take a deep breath in and into the belly, breathe into the belly, and exhale, breathe out, contract, pull your back up, suck your pelvic inside, chin up in the cow pose, push the glute back, and we do a couple of rounds of these. So really focusing on the breath, that the breath is always our foundation, so that we breathe deeply in and out and mobilize our spine. Also, it's a great time to see if the stimulation right now is not too intense. Working with the RPE scale, we recommend always to be between 7 to 8 if you are a little bit more advanced, and if you are a beginner, I recommend 4 to 6. So from here, we are shifting all our weight on the left side, and we are extending our right leg, and the left arm goes all the way straight forward and holding the balance. When you feel the stimulation, you exhale out, you squeeze your core, you squeeze your abs, you squeeze your pelvic, and when you have a pause, you inhale. And we stay exactly for 10 cycles in this pose. If you feel tired before, no worries. You can as well do it 6 repetitions or 8 or 10 or even 12. That's completely up to you. Just for you to know, right now I'm doing like 10 cycles of this pose. So I relax a little bit and inhale when there's this break, and when I am actually feeling the stimulation, then I am going to exhale. So in terms of the parameters, you're going to find everything in the description as well, all the details. I always put the parameters in the description of this video on YouTube. The impulse rise is 0.5 just to make it more soft. The time and attention is 5 seconds, and the break is 4 seconds. Okay, so we're enjoying the other side of our sunbird pose. And again, if this is too intense for you, please, you can always use the pause, the impulse pause, to come down. There's always an option to make it a little bit more easier, and there's also like an option to make it harder, right? You could also, like, for example, if you want to intensify this sunbird pose, you could, with the stimulation, rise like the arm and leg dynamically up. That way you could even make it more intense. But in this exercise routine, I choose to just hold it and voluntarily squeeze my muscles as much as possible while I focus on my breath, while I breathe out, and most important, I really keep my core engaged, keep my pelvic floor tucked in, like squeezed in, and make sure that I'm really in a good form. That is my attention here. So we are finishing up the last couple of cycles before we're moving on into our next exercise. And I love to, you see that here, love to really give myself a little bit of mobilization after this to just release the tension on my back. So I just give myself a couple of rounds of cat-cow pose here, couple of cats and cows. And then I am moving kind of in a different variation of sunbird, where I'm going back to the other side, but this time when I feel the stimulation, I'm bringing my elbow to the knee and I'm squeezing my abs as much as possible. Again, with the tension, with the stimulation, I exhale out, I breathe out. You can see my face here. I breathe out through the open mouth and I inhale into my nose. And also here, we're going for 10 repetitions in this cycle. 10 repetitions in this cycle. Good job. Make sure that your hand is exactly under your shoulder. This way you have more stability. And make sure that every part of your body is engaged. Once we're done, we're shifting to the other side. Good job, guys. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze together and release. Also, when you release, really try to bring the hands and arms as much away from your body as possible. Stretch it all out and then squeeze it back in. Good job. Inhale and exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1 and out. 1, 2, 3, 4 and back in. If you choose a different program, that works too. Some other programs are 4 seconds on, 2 seconds pause. The amazing thing is that most of all the EMS equipment, no matter which equipment you're working with, you can change the parameters and can adapt it towards your knee. Okay, and then from here we're moving into one of my favorite probably quad exercises when we are on the floor, and that is the lying leg extensions. So you're on your knees. If it's uncomfortable for you, or you're sensitive or more sensitive in your knees, you can always put like a blanket under your knees or like a pillow. And then from here, tighten your whole upper body. You might need to make some adjustments on the impulse intensity. And then from here, we are just bringing our whole upper body back and using solely the quadriceps muscles to move our body here backwards and pulling ourselves back into the position. Also, doesn't seem like a lot of movement. Trust me, guys, it's super intense. You might be able to go deeper. You might be starting with a smaller range of motion. This is all totally fine. It's really about understanding where your limit here is and pushing you slightly above it. And also like the same when you work with a client, that you really see here, okay, again, working with an RPE scale, what are you feeling? Which angle for you is really challenging? Which angle is okay? Again, doing exactly 10 repetitions here for this cycle, and just feels great. You're definitely gonna feel that the next day. Also here, to really relax then your body after that, you saw that I'm just stretching my back, also love to stretch my hands in the meantime. And then we're moving to the next thing, and that is a plank pose. Plank pose, holding it for 10 repetitions. You can come down in the break if you are in a, if you're strong and if your endurance right now is capable of doing it. You can also hold the complete 10 repetitions. Otherwise, with the stimulation, you're holding it up. Exhale, squeeze all your body, engage, and then in the break you come softly down. Bring your knees back down, relax. And I kind of like combined it with like plank and then in the pause, almost like a swings pose, as you can see here, where I really work my back my back muscles as well. So it's really an engagement of core and back muscles. Beautiful routine. I really enjoy this one. Also recommended to really emphasize on your legs in this exercise, especially when there's a plank, to really be focusing on all the parts of the body, like your legs, your glutes, your core, your shoulder, arms. Everything is like super strong and engaged during this plank exercise. And in the break in between, you can do a swings pose. Awesome. Once we're done, we are coming back and moving with our knees forward, crossing the legs behind us or to the side. I had fun doing this workout with like a little mosquito that was really challenging me, as you can see here. I then go and lie on my back for the next repetition. So arms up, engage your core, push your lower back against the mat, bring the legs 90 degrees, bend up, and keep breathing in and out, of course. And then we're moving our legs alternate away from the body. So first the right leg, breathe out, always in mind to not focus the engagement of the core area, of the core muscles, and keep breathing in and out. So we are changing here the sides. Breathe out, and then also we can go into a faster rhythm where in one cycle of 4 or 5 seconds, whatever program you are on, you can alternate the legs within one of these impulse times. So you extend the right leg out, bring it back in, and then do the other side. When it gets very intense, also recommended just hold your knees in. What you want to avoid is that you're losing the contraction, or that you're losing the posture and you're just like dropping down. So beside that, you can always bring in the knees, relax for a moment until you're going back into your posture. Okay, well done, my friends. So from here, what we're going to do is going into a bridge pose and then shifting all the weight on the left leg, and the right leg we bend the leg and bring the angle of the right leg on top of the left leg underneath the knee, and then we do hip rises. We push up our hip towards the sky, squeezing the glutes as much as we can, using the hamstrings. Maybe you will need to adjust something here when, for example, the hamstrings are too high. That can happen. So attention here, if you're working with a client, just before you go into it, just double check the intensity of these muscle groups, like specifically gluteus muscles and the hamstrings. And then we're going for 10 repetitions. First of all, on the left side. So we're pushing the hip up all the way, doing some bridge pose, hip rises, one-legged. Then a couple of more, and then you're almost done with this side. And then I'm super excited going into the other side. And we're gonna do as well, of course, 10 on the other side. So keep strong, push it up, use all your strength that you have, and then we're moving to the other side. Great job, everyone. Great job. Good. It is not an easy one. Again, if you want variations, you can of course just do the normal bridge pose where you have both feet on the ground and rise the hip. If that is easier, there's always an option to make an exercise easier and also more challenging. For example, if you would bring the feet a little bit more away from your body, it gets more difficult. You bringing the heels further in, you have it easier to rise your hip. So you have always options here. Make sure that you feel stable and enough supported to push your glutes up, to rise your hip, and bring it as far up as possible. From here, we're going into some standard hip rises. We are staying up, and in the break we're not coming all the way down, we're not lying down and bringing the hip all the way down on the mat with the glutes. No, we keep the tension. We go a little lower, but just to take a deep breath and bring the hip actually even higher in the next repetition. Okay, a couple of more. Stay strong. Take all your strength out of your breathing. When it gets more intense, you want to inhale even deeper. And if you have even more energy, you can do small ones. You keep your hip all the way up and do smaller ones. From here, we're going into crunches. So breathe out and squeeze your abs. Push your lower back into the mat. Breathe out and squeeze as much as you can. Inhale, relax. And exhale, squeeze your abs, push your lower back against the mat. Also here 10 repetitions. Breathe out, squeeze, relax, inhale. Squeeze, breathe out, contract, relax, inhale. Squeeze, contract, pull everything in from all the way down, like squeeze your pelvic floor. Good job, guys. We're almost there, a couple of more minutes, and you have finished an amazing workout routine. Okay, let's go into bear pose. Check your impulse intensity if you want to adjust anything, and then from there we go and raise our knees. So you have two options. You can either do this bear pose with your tucked toes, so you're on your toes, or you can do it like I do it here, which gives them a beautiful stretch for the ankles, so you're kind of like stay on the top side of your feet. That's completely up to you. Important is that you breathe out when you raise yourself up. You breathe out and you squeeze your abs. Your pelvic is contracted. You're really pushing your hands into the mat and pull them slightly backwards so that you feel your triceps. Also, you can like visualize how you would bring the knees and pull them at the same time against your hands. So that gives just an extra intensity in your core. When you're doing this exercise, you know exactly what I mean. So you're pulling imagine like your hands and your knees are kind of pulling towards each other, and vice versa. The knees pull towards your hands and the hands pull towards your knees. Try it out, guys. And also here I'm changing the variation, so I'm going into the bear pose with tucked toes. You can also can do all kind of things. You could also touch with your hand opposite your shoulder, do a little shoulder action here or upper body action. That's completely up to you. I remain on my hands in this pose because I'm really focusing here on contracting my abs and contracting my pelvic floor and squeezing this all in. Of course, when you're wearing an EMS suit, there's many things that you're actually feeling. So it's way more intense than it actually looks like here. If you have never done EMS and you, I don't know, watching this video by and doing this maybe without the EMS, it's also intense. But trust me, if you're in the suit, it is another story. So we're doing as well 10 repetitions here. So keep going, great job, keep breathing in and out. It gets really warm, it gets really exhausting towards the end, and we are in the last part of this routine. So you're doing amazing. You can stay the whole time, or you can also come down on your knees in the breaks. Good job, guys. So if you want to relax a little bit in between, mobilize yourself, give yourself a little gentle stretch. Child pose is also a great pose in between exercises. Of course, when you are, depending on which program you're actually in, but when you're in an intense program like the toning program or the pelvic floor program or even the drainage program, just lying on your back alone, there's a lot of things happening anyways. So from here, what I'm actually doing now is that the official part is done, and I am changing the program into the drainage program, which has 450 microseconds. It's a very deep program. It's excellent for releasing toxins, increasing blood flow, promoting recovery. Really great. And then find yourself a position that feels good. Lying on your back, you can still keep the legs bended, but also if you feel like you want just to lie down, that's okay too, right? Whatever feels good in this moment. Sometimes people want to sit on a medicine ball. Some people don't actually like the recovery part towards the end. I think it is an absolute must to give the body the deserved relaxation time towards the end, and just to acknowledge all the changes in the body. So you want to really make sure that the stimulation feels good in all the different areas in the body, and find a good position that feels great. Completely relax your body. Focus on your breath. Let your body sink into the mat and relax. haven't subscribed to this channel, please click on the subscribe button to get informed about the newest videos. And if you have any questions, please contact. Also follow my Instagram account, EMS Mastermind, or my Master Coach Jemima account for more updates, for more tips all around EMS training business, all the support that any EMS trainer, any EMS training studio owner needs. I'm here. Thank you guys for joining, and I see you on the mat or on the account.